Hello everyone, I've got a Nova 4.0 walkthrough video for you on the Oblivion Express co-op mission. I'm going to be playing with a random player. It looks like Megha is the name, playing as Alarak, Mastery level 57. So I am going to be giving you commentary after I have played, no live commentary for this one. Reason being for that is that I'm playing Oblivion Express co-op mission specifically against Sky Terran. So I got a request from, I believe it was Marineman Pro in the comments, and what Marineman Pro had asked was to play specifically as Nova, and then how do you actually handle Sky Terran? Like, what's a really good way to handle it? And it's kind of hard for me to get just guess that I'm going to be playing against Sky Terran, so I have to play and record, and it's hard for me to start a random match because you don't actually know what race you're going to be playing, and then you don't know what kind of strategy the enemy is going to actually be using. So anyways, I record this video now, and that's why I'm going to be giving you commentary afterwards. So what I'm going to be doing in this playthrough is playing Bio. I'm going to be getting a lot of those elite Marines, I'm going to be getting the Ghosts, I'm going to be getting those Commando Marauders, and pretty much go from there. I'll get a starport as well, and then get some Ravens, and then we'll be using those healing drones that those Ravens can drop down. And something my teammate, I noticed, could have done better here. I actually played with a teammate previously on this mission, playing as Alarak, and what that person did actually place their pylon right in the middle of both of our rocks, and when they use that overcharge ability on their structure, they can actually destroy both of our rocks, so my rocks and his rocks. And then that way that clears the expansion for both of us, and we can both fast expand because of something that our teammate did. So, but it didn't happen in this one. It's just something that you can do to improve your overall gameplay, and I noticed it to drastically help us being able to expand that fast. It was huge, but we're still going to do pretty good in this match. So it's not a huge thing, but it's a nice thing to have. So we're just going to wait until we can get these Marines spawned here. And something I just wanted to point out really quickly is what I did is I put down my gas right away. So I got those geysers taken care of right from the get-go. I think I basically created 2 SCVs, and then I threw down my first refinery, and then as soon as I got another 100 minerals, I threw down my second refinery. And it's just like playing as Vorazon. You have automated refineries. It's getting gas for you. You don't have to use any SCVs on them. So why not start getting the gas right away? You're just making an early investment. It's a smart thing to do. Okay, and then I'm going to finish taking out the rocks for the geysers on my expansion as well. And then we're going to lift off the command center here and move it over so it's closer to the mineral patches. And I don't even really have to worry about using these Marines on the first wave because we already have Nova out, and we can use the snipe ability, take out these Vikings right away. And then I'm going to throw down that first automated refinery again, and then get these Marines onto these, attacking the next rocks here. And I'm going to take pretty much, yeah, actually that was exactly half of the SCVs from my main base. We're going to be taking half of those SCVs, and then what we're going to do is just rally my main command center to the closest supply line, and then my expansion command center to that closest supply line. That way we don't have to rally all of our SCVs across the map. Eventually I will, once this supply line is completely saturated, I will end up rallying the SCVs from that expansion to my main, but we're just really saving ourselves a little bit of time by splitting our SCVs up like this. Okay, and then I'm getting up another refinery on that Vespine geyser there, and I'm building my engineering bay, and I already have a tech lab up for the barracks, and we're getting that stim pack upgrade for our Marines right now. I generally go with the stim pack upgrade first before getting the increased range from my Marines. I think the stim pack ability's better. I mean, you're using stim, your units can, I believe, move faster and attack faster. Your Marines can, that is. And then not only that, it regenerates life, like 2 life per second or something like that. And that's on top of the mastery skill points that we already have used or allocated into our bio units. So I guess I didn't cover that right from the get-go. For Master Skill Points in Power Set 1, we have everything in the Reduced Griffin Airstrike. So it's reduced by 300 minerals. It's pretty darn huge. And so instead of 1,000, it only costs like 700 minerals for the Griffin Airstrike. And then for Power Set 2, we have everything in Combat Unit Attack Speed, so that's increased. And then in Power Set 3, I believe we have everything in Unit Life Regeneration Rate. And that's at something like 5.2 unit life regeneration rate per second. And then if you get that stim pack ability, for your Marines, it's upgraded another 2, so it's like 7.2 or something like that. It's works out pretty well. And it's really nice having those mastery points in the unit life regeneration rates, because then, I mean, you do want your Ravens to heal your units with their drones, but it's nice when your units can just automatically heal by themselves too. And then always make sure to use those defensive drones that you can drop down from your top bar there. I'll definitely be making use of it a little bit in the soon future here. And then something you can see I'm doing right now, I'm dropping down a bunch of turrets because we are going to be playing against Sky Terran. So I just want that extra protection just in case they start going for our base. And you're going to notice that there's going to be a lot of nasty ghosts that like to sneak into our base, and turrets are really good for detection on getting those killed as well. But what I should have done right away is throw down some of those, can't remember what they're actually called right now, but they're turrets on the ground that just attack ground units only. I should have built a couple of those, and those would have been able to kill the ghosts that I'm going to have problems with in a little while here. And then currently I've got 2 engineering bays out, and I'm getting weapon attacks 1 and armor level 1 right now too. And then something I'm doing when I'm attacking, I'm throwing down defensive drones where my teammates' units are and where my units are, because, you know, this is co-op mission. You want to make sure to help out your teammate as well. And then later on, when I have Ravens, something else I'm really going to start doing is I'm going to use the seeker missiles from those Ravens. So where there's a lot of air units, I'm going to actually use a bunch of those seeker missile turrets, and I should be able to do a lot of splash damage to take out all those air units right away. At the same time, that is. Okay, so we're going to deploy a couple more Marauders here. Okay, and then we're going to get that enhanced manufacturing for the Ravens, and then covert targeting. So the enhanced manufacturing, that's going to allow our Ravens to have 3 stored charges for each thing, each one of their abilities, that is. So for the seeker missile and those turrets that they can drop down. And then the other upgrade that we got for the Ravens, that's going to allow the healing turrets, the healing drone that you drop down, to heal for a higher amount. I believe it's like an additional 25 health units or something like that. Okay, then I'm going to use my sabotage drone. I'm going to drop that down right on top of the Marines. I think I might even use a nuke here. It doesn't look like it. Well, I use the sabotage drone. That's going to do some extra damage to the train for us. Not a whole lot, but it's a nice thing to drop down. And that does damage to ground units. It's not going to do damage to the air units for us, though. Okay, and then we're going to take out this train here. And later on in this match, well, actually, we're probably going to use our pickup ability right now. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, we're just going to walk right on over there. But later on, what you're going to see me do is we're going to use the nuke ability, and then to make best use of all of Nova's abilities, we're actually going to use the switch the suit that we have on. So instead of being in the stealth mode of Nova, we're going to switch to the assault mode. And that way we can use the nuke, and then also use that spawn decoy ability that Nova has, which is really awesome. And that decoy does a lot of damage as well. And then you have that awesome splash damage for attacking ground units. But we're not going to be in that. We're mostly just switching over to assault mode for spawning the decoy. Other than that, because we're going up against Sky Terran, we want to be in the stealth mode so we can use Nova's snipe ability. Alright, so now we've got 2 ravens out. We've got 2 ghosts. I think I have more than 2 ghosts, actually. Yeah, I've got more like 8 ghosts, it looks like. 6 to 8 ghosts right now. So, yeah, I'm getting an upgrade. I just got an upgrade for Nova for her assault mode for her shotgun. I really didn't need to get that upgrade, though. That was kind of a waste. But I am going to be getting attack levels 3 and armor level 3 from the engineering bay. And then what I want to do is, I've already got my 2 of my ravens into hotkey number 1, and then I'm going to be throwing my ghosts, all of them, into hotkey number 2. And I already have 2 of them in hotkey number 2, but I want to make sure to have them all into that hotkey. It's not really as important because we're going against Terran right now, but I did get that EMP upgrade, and there are some hybrids that spawn. And I'll use it only a couple times in this playthrough, but that EMP ability is very helpful for taking away all the shields of your enemy. So if you're going up against Protoss, that's when it's going to be the most helpful. But it will be a little helpful against those hybrids. Like, for example, there's one right now. If you use that EMP ability, which you have to manually do on the hybrids, if you use that, it'll be able to take out their shields right away, and then you'll be able to kill them the rest of the way with your snipes from your ghosts and from Nova. And then, as you could see in this little attack here, I used a bunch of those heat-seeking missiles, or seeker missiles, whatever they are called, against all of those air units, and it did a lot of splash damage, took out a lot of stuff. I believe the seeker missiles do area damage to everything air and ground in that specific area. And right now I'm going to use the Griffin airstrike, and this should be able to take out everything in this area. So that's another huge perk of Nova, is that Griffin airstrike, and because it's reduced by 300 minerals, it's only costing us 700 minerals right now, so that's a huge bonus. And that's definitely another way to really handle these huge airwaves if you are struggling with your ground army. And then the downside, though, is you really need to watch out for these ghosts, as you can see, which I'm struggling with right now. I've got these turrets up, the ghost is detected, but the problem is I don't have any actual turrets on the ground that can do damage to the ghost. So even though they're detected, it's not like they're getting killed. So I do need to start handling that, and it's going to be a little bit of a problem throughout the rest of this mission. And right now I'm throwing down the wrong type of turret. I'm just throwing down more detection. I actually need to be throwing down, there we go, railgun turrets. That's what they're called. I need to be throwing down those railgun turrets. I'm going to start throwing down a couple more defensive drones here, though. Okay, there we go. We're getting straight into this one. My teammate spawned his Death Fleet, so I don't need to worry about dropping down a Griffin airstrike. Death Fleet should be able to take out all of the enemy units just fine. We don't have to worry about that. And I now have, yeah, there we go. Finally going to put all of my ghosts into a hotkey. So I've got 6 ghosts right now and 3 ravens. I'm just going to go ahead and clear out this little top area. And those ghosts that you have, they have an automatic snipe ability, so you don't have to actually focus that down. But the EMP round is not automatic, as I said earlier. Nova, however, does not have that automatic snipe ability. You do have to actually manually use the snipe ability on Nova, as I'm sure most of you know. But that's not very hard because she's auto-selected. So, yeah, that's why I have to put the ghosts and the ravens into a specific hotkey for themselves, because Nova is the first unit that's going to be selected if you select your entire army. And then, I don't know if you guys just saw that, but I just used a ton of those Predator missiles, and I'm focusing on that right now. Okay, there we go. It's Predator missiles, not seeking missiles or heat-seeking missiles. They're Predator missiles. But yeah, I really highlighted that while I was playing, because those Predator missiles did a ton of damage to those air units. They completely destroyed that wave. It was phenomenal. And we're going to kill that ghost right there. And the reason I could see that ghost, well, one, I have the ravens, but I was just about to say I got an upgrade for Nova from the Ghost Academy. And this isn't probably one of the first upgrades that you should get pretty much every time, is just in case you don't have the ravens, get detection for Nova. It's a pretty cheap upgrade too, I think, from the Ghost Academy. So you get those upgrades for the get the detection for Nova, and then if there's like Banshees, for example, in this playthrough, which there are, as you can see right now, or if there's Ghosts, which there are, we are going to be able to detect those units, and they're not going to be destroying our army. Stealth units, if you're not prepared, can definitely get the upper hand on you. And right here, I tried to use some of those EMP rounds on those hybrids, but I don't even know if it's worth it to get the EMP upgrade playing against Terran, because honestly, even against those hybrids, the Ghost snipe ability, it just automatically targets them down, targets those hybrids down, or any enemy units, and it does so much damage to the shields in the first place that you don't even have to worry about using the EMP rounds. I mean, you're not going to be able to use the EMP round fast enough before those snipes go off. So maybe not get the EMP round if you're playing against Terran. It's a case-by-case scenario pretty much. If you're playing against Zerg or Terran, you probably don't need to get the upgrade. But if you're playing against Protoss, then I'd probably suggest getting the EMP round upgrade. I definitely found it to be useful in my last playthrough as Nova, because we were playing against Protoss and they had a ton of Colossi and lots of other units, like I think Zealots and some Stalkers. And yeah, the EMP round just did wonders. Oh, and they had Tempest too. Yeah, Tempest takes the shields right away from them. So I definitely encourage against Protoss, but don't get it against the other two races, as I did here. It was not a good investment on my part. And then I have a ton of extra minerals right now, so I'm really going to try to start using some of them at least during this last wave. And I'm trying to rebuild my army because there was one Ghost, I think it launched at least 3 nukes at our base. So I lost about half my SCVs at my main base here. But something I'm going to do here is I'm going to take all of my Ravens, I'm going to throw down all of their turrets to prepare. I'm going to drop a nuke because we have that prepared. It's our last wave. I'm going to throw down that sabotage drone as well. That's going to do some extra damage for us. And I'm going to switch into assault mode. And I'm going to spawn that holo decoy. And I'm going to take all of my Ravens and I'm going to start using their Predator missiles on the air units here. And there goes the turret. And as you can see, we completely destroyed that last wave. That last train didn't even stand a chance. It was very easy. So there you have it. I hope my commentary was helpful for this. Basically, my advice, if you're going up against Sky Terran and you're playing as Nova, you have a couple different choices of units you can choose, and out of those choices, I would choose to go the bio route and just get a lot of Marines and Ghosts primarily. The Marauders are very helpful, but I definitely go with the bio method. And as you can see here, as I was saying earlier, here's my allocation for mastery skill points, just for those of you who wanted to see. So Griffin airstrike cost in Parset 1, combat unit attack speed, and then unit life regeneration rate in Parset 3. And there you have it, everyone. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any more questions, or if you have any more suggestions for videos, please post them in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.